Hello, welcome to Scalemodeling and welcome to the build of the Yamaha XV1600. And in this video we're obviously going to build this bike. Now I'll explain why I'm doing a voiceover at the moment, and it's because I actually recorded the whole part one of this video without any sound, and the idea was I was going to do it all in one length, in one shot, then time lapse it so you'd watch the whole build going together. But then I changed my mind and thought, no, I want to do something back to the old style. So what we're seeing here is the first video that you're going to watch now will be the time lapse part, and I build up the motorcycle frame and the engine in that, and then we'll convert back to where I'm up to now with the usual format of videoing. Alright, so please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit that notifications bell so you get notified when videos are released. Don't forget to hit the like button at the end if you like it, and your comments are welcome. Alright, there's our engine parts, or most of them there on the sprue, as you can see. They're all already at quite a nice silver, but I will actually undercoat and paint them up. Also, there's going to be areas in the film where I'll just speed it up and I'll put a bit of music in the background, and we'll whip through the whole build up into the engine, which is only up to step 7 of the instructions. I think it's at step 7 where we will begin in the old format. Alright, okay, so yeah, I'll get my voice off here now, and we'll watch this sped up a bit and we'll whip through it, and maybe somewhere along it I might cut in and explain a few things that I'm doing, but it's all pretty much common sense. Alright, so sit back, enjoy this part, and I shall be back chatting again shortly. Hello and welcome back. So, I hope you enjoyed that little time-lapse sequence, something different. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a bit more of that. I enjoyed doing it and it turned out a little bit better than I thought. I don't know if I could do a whole video like that, but anyway. So here we are. Like I said, we're at step 7 now. I'll put that up in the corner here. And we're about to start on the damper and the left swing arm by the looks of things. So I need to put this little fella aside. It's looking quite nice, come up really good. Chrome looks amazing. So I'll put that aside and we'll get our sprue parts out, and I'll get some parts off. And we've got little bits to paint, and looks like quite a few pieces to take off, including the coil spring, which will be in one of these little containers here. All right, so let me get organized here and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we're back here with the parts off and trimmed up. We've got our spring, we've got our center piece here. So what I figured out is that the spring simply goes over the top of there, and then hold it down with a bit of pressure, and there's this little clip here that slots in there and just holds it down in position. Now all of this is to be painted, it's going to be painted titanium gold, okay, which we can do that including this piece here, but not with the spring on there because we want that to stay black. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll attach this on there, obviously undercoat it first, then we'll do it in the gold. And these pieces here, one clips, they just sit in place over that, so there's a little pin there for it to go through, and it lines up with that, but this needs to be put on after the spring is on because it sits on the outside of that spring. Right, and this will be a different color. I think that was aluminium, those two. So yeah, that should look good. And there is a little bit in the center there that's they're marking that as there's a little round part in the center. Now there are some mold seam that I need to sand off on here. I'll do that before I go paint. But that little center piece in there, they want me to paint that one orange, just to be different, and I'll do that. I'll probably best do that with a brush after I've done all of this gold. I'll just go in with a brush and make that orange. Okay, so I'll do that. I'll get that seam line off a bit. There's a bit of a seam line down the center which is quite noticeable, although I'm not too sure if you'll even see any of this on the bike itself. But yeah, so I'll undercoat this, get the colors on, pop it together like I said, then we'll come back and have a look at it. And then the next part of step 7 is actually working on the left swing arm, which involves the chain and sprocket and stuff, but we can do that completely separate. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. All right, we're back, and these are all painted up now. These two brackets here were done in the flat aluminium, so not quite good. This one I've done in a bronze, a copper color. Okay, so even though it did call for it to be titanium gold, I didn't have any titanium gold, but I had copper. I think that's going to look just as nice. There you go. All right, that's done in flat black, that bit of frame, and this part was done in the gloss black. You can see the difference there. Done. Now what I also did was I also went over and took off the parts. Oh, that's what I'm saying with these parts here. These were off the left swing arm, so I've done those. We've got them all painted up as well. And right now I'm about to go and do the belt, which is, they doesn't have a chain on this bike, they have belt drive, and that's been undercoated. And I'm about to go and use the tyre black, it's the Outlaw Paints tyre black on the belt. And I'm not too worried about masking up because this all needs to be done silver. So I'll be able to, all I have to do is simply grab my tape, which I've got some Icky Sticky masking tape, and just mask that around there and mask it on the inside, and then spray it with the titanium and get this all looking good. But yeah, that's where I'm at now. So I'm going to go and put some paint on this. I'm still letting this dry before I put them together. I've only done them less than an hour ago. That little bracket piece is slid on there. I'm going to slide that back off shortly, just give it a bit more chance to dry. And that other little piece in there that was a different colour, I think it was red, was it? Let's have a look. Orange. Right, so there's orange little piece in there which I'll brush paint. No problem at all. Alright, I'll be back in a second and we'll put these parts together and have a look at this, which should be, well, I'll show you when it's masked up. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, welcome back. So let's have a look at what we've got here. Is there it all is in there. Now I was wondering about gluing this on here where it's connected to the sort of the flywheel, I guess you'd call it, where the belt goes around. And I thought, because if I glued that, then that's going to permanently lock that in, and this may need some adjustment when I'm trying to fit it. I wasn't sure what to do. But then if you look at the instructions, there's a really faint little glue mark, a glue thing with a cross through it, which means don't glue. And it's also for the spring on the damper there as well, which obviously we know we're not going to glue the spring on, but yeah. So they're very faint and they're all the way through the manual, so keep an eye out for that and don't miss them. There are spots that should not be glued, and that was one of them. Otherwise, this is on fine now. It's a little bit tricky getting it in, but it's all gone good. Now, the only thing I need to do now is the main little nut and the adjuster screw that all sits in there for adjusting the tension on your belt. I keep saying chain, but belt needs to be painted in the metallic, same as that there. So I will do that with a brush, go in there and do that bolt head. Now there's also a bolt there, and in there as well, which it doesn't tell you to paint. And I'm thinking maybe I should do them also silver, just for the extra detail, but I will wait for the moment and just see how that looks as we go further on. Okay, so that's done. Put that there. We also have this went together. No problem at all. Just got to hold that spring down as you put that clip in. Make sure your clip is going in the right way. It does actually go from the side in. And now I've just realized, I just remembered because I dropped it then, I haven't glued those in. They clip in there like that and they're quite a good tight fit. So that's good. But I will glue those in now. And yeah, so that locking tab goes in sideways. I made the mistake of putting it in from the top this way down, which it still fits, but it's the wrong way, okay? So just be aware you can do it wrongly. Goes in from this side. And that's that bit done. So yeah, very happy with that too. So that completes step 7. Let me tidy up all the bits and pieces around here, and I guess we can move on to step 8. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so on to step 8. We've got some chrome parts on the tree, sprue E, and what we need to get off is we're working on the, I don't know why they're calling it the swing arm, when I think we've already, I don't know, it's more like the rim, isn't it? Anyway, there's a lot of part 8 here, so yeah, I guess the swing arm's in there somewhere, and the rear tyre. So we're working on the rear of the bike still, where we'll be able to put the last 2 parts on. Now I'm looking at the chrome here, and I'm looking at it, and it's looking pretty nice. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm not going to take the chrome off these because I think they look good as it is. The connection points on here are in the center of the rim, so that's not going to show. That'll be where the tire is sitting. So I'll take them off. We also need the D sprue. So the D sprue will be D sprue. Okay, so there's this one. Again, it's more chrome, but sort of, it's not the same chrome. Let me just show you, we'll compare the two. Yeah, so this is more looking like an alloy or, yeah, metallic. Yeah, what am I going to do there? We'll see whether I take the chrome off those. All right, so what we need is D1, which will be this small one here, and then D3, which will be that. These are like the hubs on the wheel. And then there's a metal tube, which it doesn't tell you, there's no particular number for it, so I'm guessing it will be one of these. Yeah, there's metal tubes in there, so we'll get that out of there. Then we have D4, which sits on the other side where the disc brake is, behind the disc brake. So D4 would be this one here. And then the disc brake itself is D7, which will be this one here. Okay. Yeah. And as you can see, there are no holes drilled in there. Normally, in some kits, you find they're drilled out. It helps cooling the brakes and making them lighter. I will check, see how we are with drill bits. They're looking very, very small. We'll see if we can drill those out, because that will certainly look a lot better. And then we'll look at possibly painting these as well. All right, I'll get these pieces off. We'll be back in a second. Oh, and just before I go, the rear tyre. There's our rear tyre, which has to go in the right direction, which will be that way. All right. There is also a join mark or join line all the way along the center of that, so that's going to have to be sanded off, and we'll want to smooth this off anyway, because it just looks a bit too brand new, doesn't it, the tread on there. So yeah, we'll fix that up. Okay, shall return. Hey, back again. So let's have a look here. I've done the holes. A bit difficult to see. They're so small. They look really good though. I'll put a couple of photos up of me starting it and when it was done. They look really good. These tungsten micro drill bits. I use the 0.5 for the holes. Perfect, no problem. These are the Icky Sticky ones. Brilliant. So very happy with them. So that's ready to go on now, I'm guessing. Just checking the instructions. In fact, no, it isn't, because we've got to paint the inside of this silver. So just double check on that. Let's see. It is flat aluminium. Okay, so I need to do a bit of work and tape up and get that bit done with the silver. It's going to be a little bit tricky, isn't it? And only on the one side, because that one will be out of sight, I'm thinking. Yeah, how am I going to do that? I don't have any masking tape that I can actually cut into circles like that. The other option would be to hand paint it, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, so that, obviously this is dried up now. This caused me a drama. I started gluing it together and I forgot to put the pin in the center of it, and yeah, I had to pull it apart again. It's the last thing you want to do is pull it apart. But in the end, it turned out okay. I got it all back together. It's all glued together. And if this is correct, it looks like, what do we got? That in there. So this brake will actually go on there like that. Just checking that. I'm sure I'm doing that right. Yeah, I'm doing it right. Oh, there's some locating pins on there. I didn't notice. All right, I need my better glasses on. That's what I need. Okay. So yeah, there and there, there and there. So that will pretty much sit like that. All right, so that I'm going to glue in place after I figure out how I'm going to paint that interior there. And then we can put the tyre on. I'll get the tyre on. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I've decided I'm not going to paint that aluminium in the center. I'm going to leave it chrome because it matches up with the front wheel with the disc brakes that doesn't have any aluminium. It's just the disc brake and then it's chrome center. So I'm going to leave that. I won't put it on just yet. I'm going to get the tyre on first. So what I'm doing now is I've just got some sanding stick. This is an Ammo 180 stick, and I'm just going to work that tread, that join mark in the rubber, center of tyre. We'll just work it off. You can see there that's coming off. No problem at all. Okay. And at the same time, we remove the join, we put some wear on the tyre as well. Okay, so I'll keep going on with that, and then we'll come and put it on the rim and put our disc on there. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, tyres on. So I should have shown you when you're putting it on, but it's pretty easy. So what I did was I put it in some hot water, just softened the rubber a little bit, and it just went straight over there, no problem. One thing to make sure, with your brake disc going on this side, you want to make sure the tread's facing the right way. It'll tell you on the instructions to note the tyre rotation direction, but yeah, it's not a problem. So I'll just put this on now and attach it, and then we'll come back in a second. Okay, so we're back. The wheel is done. The brake is just drying on there, so I want to be a little bit gentle, but it's come together really nice with that. So there's all those parts completed. We've still got some more on step 8. We've still got to put together the vinyl tubing's got to go on. These parts need to go on to here, as well as the wheel, and a couple other bits to make up, but we're going to put that up together in the next video. So thank you for watching up to here, and I hope I see you all in part 2 of the video. Please subscribe and like the video if you like it. If you are not already subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you get notified of my videos as they come out. Let me know in the comments what you think of the little time-lapse sequence I had at the beginning, which wasn't really deliberate, but I sort of did that a couple of times through the video. If you like that, I might keep that going. Yeah, so excellent. Thanks all for watching. Please, your comments are welcome below. Let me know anything, what you think, if you've built this before, any tips I should know about, because it's quite a bit to go yet, but it's coming up really well so far. Alright everybody, I'll see you all in part 2. Bye for now.